The first is the national debt, to improve our country in peace and defend it in war without recurring either to new taxes or loans. But if the debt should once more be swelled to a formidable size, its entire discharge will be despaired of, and we shall be committed to the English career of debt, corruption, and rottenness, closing with revolution. The discharge of public debt, therefore, is vital to the destinies of our government. He went on to say,
good evening. It is a great privilege and a blessing to be with patriots here in Virginia. And not too long ago, we were celebrating Virginia's ratification of this Constitution for the United States of America. And I've been asked to discuss the Declaration of Independence. And I wanted to first let you know on the 3rd of July, in the year of our Lord 1776, I said, the fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the conduct and courage of this Army, defending the dearest rights and liberties of his country. And on the 9th, when the Declaration finally got up to us in New York, I read these orders to the men, and so I will share those. The Honorable Congress, having been pleased to allow a chaplain to each regiment with the pay of $33 1/3 per month, the colonels or commanding officers of each regiment are directed to procure chaplains accordingly, persons of good character and exemplary lives, and to see all inferior officers and soldiers pay them a suitable respect and attend carefully upon religious exercises. The blessing and protection of heaven are at all times necessary, but especially so in times of public distress and danger. The general hopes and trusts that every officer and man will endeavor so to live and act as becomes a Christian soldier, defending the dearest rights and liberties of his country. The Honorable Congress, impelled by the dictates of duty, policy, and necessity, having been pleased to dissolve the connection which subsisted between this country and Great Britain, and to declare the United Colonies of North America free and independent states. The several brigades are to be drawn up this evening on their respective parades at 6 o'clock, when the Declaration of Congress, showing the grounds and reasons of this measure, is to be read with an audible voice. The General hopes that this important event will serve as a fresh incentive to every officer, every soldier, every citizen to act with fidelity and courage, as knowing now the peace and safety of his country depends, under God, solely on the success of our arms, and that he is now in the service of a state possessed of sufficient power to reward his merit and advance him to the highest honors of a free country. But when we speak of liberty, I want to also share with you what Billy Lee, my aide, said that I found. He says, "What are we fighting for? Don't ask me. I don't give a ram. Congress and their talk of liberty, it's all a sham. Our nation, under God, conceived in liberty, yet, O Lord, our Lady Liberty's offspring, freedom and justice for all, seems to me to be stillborn, cut apart, and cut out of the words of Mr. Jefferson's original draft for our Declaration of Independence. He decried the king imposing on America, black and white, the sin of slavery. But then Mr. Franklin of Massachusetts cut those words out. But I want to share them with you as part of the original Declaration of Independence. Speaking of the King of England, he has waged cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distant people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, or to incur miserable death in their transportation thither. This piratical warfare, the opprobrium of infidel powers, is the warfare of a Christian king of Great Britain? determined to keep open a market where men should be bought and sold. He has prostituted his negative for suppressing every legislative attempt to prohibit or restrain this execrable commerce. And that this assemblage of horrors want no fact of distinguished dye. He is now exciting throughout the very people to rise in arms against us and to purchase that liberty upon which he has deprived them by murdering the people who have obtruded them, thus paying of former crimes committed against the liberties of one people with crimes he urges to commit against the lives of another. Dear Lord, how are these actions the work of a Christian man, much less a king? I declare my independence with the Army's war cry, no king, but King Jesus. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord of all liberty. I recall last year at Richmond, at St. John's Church, Mr. Henry cried out to God, 3 millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty are invincible. A just God rules over the destiny of nations. Lord, where are you? You are with us. There we go.